Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Coffee Break. This is Dr. Michele Alignay. I missed you the other day, and I'm coming live this afternoon for. I really thought of this conversation, this topic that will help arm us in the as we end the year. And grabe, no, as we end the year, I can't believe I'm saying as we end the year because we're already halfway through the last month of the year, and as we start the new year. So I hope that you can join me for the rest of this episode on Coffee Break. Let's talk about something that it's about well-being. So let me talk to you about well-being myths and realities, because even though that I've been talking about well-being for the past year, Coffee Break, it's all about family life, well-being, and faith. In the process, what I realize is that ang dami pala na meron mga iba pang hinaing at iba pang mindsets about well-being. You know what I mean, friends? That ang dami pa rin sa atin na may iba pa rin pananaw tungkol sa well-being. What I mean is that we have look at it differently. And is there something wrong with about it, is there something wrong about how we think and perceive in our belief system about well-being? Maybe there's nothing wrong, but maybe there's something wrong if it's already not serving its purpose. Ibig sabihin na parang, okay, and I think many times you've heard me say it here in Coffee Break that in our younger days, in our younger years, there are things, there are mindsets, there are beliefs, there are patterns that we grew up with, are growing up patterns, or another term for that, life scripts that are very unconscious to us, that in the process, they are helpful because they have honed us. Lumaki tayo na yun yung pinapaniwalaan. Pero, in the process, may mga bagay na hindi na nakakatulong. Do you agree with me? Before I kick off the discussion, I would like to invite you. Put there, for the friends who are here already, can you put in the comment section, ano yung mga bagay na pinaniwalaan mo hindi sa pag-ibig? We're talking about well-being. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about our own welfare. We thought of it, about our well-being, that are not helpful at the moment. Bago ako magsimula, I would like to hear from you because it may be some things that we can reflect about, or maybe what you have is already here. And what do we mean by the belief system? Ito yung mga belief systems, mga bagay na nakalakihan na natin, nakasanayan na, and we are honed by these things. And they are already ingrained in our persona that builds our character, that builds our attitude, and it actually guides the way, not really guide, kasi some of them are actually unconscious. It actually helps us, and sometimes they're not very helpful. They become the backbone in how we live. They become the backbone kung paano tayo lumalaki. So, I would like you to reflect about that because it's really something that you can realize na, ay, oo nga, no? That's why I really thought of this topic. If you would notice, I was absent the other day. I was absent like Tuesday. I did not do coffee break. I didn't have any announcement. And for me, that was okay. Uh, if you're a follower of Coffee Break, you know that I come live Tuesday and Thursday. Last Tuesday, we were on a vacation with my husband and my two kids. And consciously, parang, okay, I'll just put it off for a while because this is something that I do voluntarily. There's no commitment. So wala akong sponsor. Ginagawa ko to support other people. And I believe that that's okay. That's okay. I'm not really bent on supposed to be. I have commitments. It's my commitment to myself and to the Lord in serving you guys. So I hope that you're okay that I did not have coffee break because that is what we realize, that what I realized over that break, that ang dami nating mga hinaing, ang dami nating hanash, ang dami nating perception, attitude, and belief system about our mental health, about our well-being, and about how we do life that, as I said earlier, they may be okay at a certain point in our lives, but at a certain point, they're not helpful. At a certain point, they may not be healthy. Oh, Leia. Ay, oo nga, tama yan. Bago ko sabihin yung mga points ko, tingnan natin yung points nyo. Tama yan, Leia. Lumaki ka na parang bawal maging malungkot, dapat masaya lang lagi. Okay, let's start discussing. So let's take this as the first one. Bawal malungkot, dapat masaya. Let's take that as the first myth. That's a myth because our that's why many people they have underdeveloped EQ or emotional quotient or emotional intelligence because the only emotion that they know it's happy, glad, excited, only the good ones. But we need to realize that life is actually an emotional development. It's developing the whole spectrum, feeling the feeling, and actually knowing how to manage the feeling. Um, 'Di ba, I think another so yung pagiging gusto ko yan sinabi mo Lea no. Kaya 'di ba yung happy lang lagi. Happy lang dapat masaya lang lagi. So when we hear that, even now in social media, you see people na gusto nila GB lang. GV or good vibes, but that's not how the realities in life goes. May mga pagkakataon na kailangan mong umiyak, kailangan kang umiyak, 'di ba? Happy ka lang lagi, parang blessed ka na nga, eh ba't ka pa malulungkot? Yung pagkakataong malungkot, yung pagkakataong umiyak, masaktan, there are actually opportunities for us to grow. There are actually opportunities for us to get to know the other side of us, and they're actually building the character in us, the character within. Because that's how life is. It's a package of good things and bad things. And I would like to quantify this because during the Kirigma the feast conference that I attended, my favorite priest, Father Joel Hason, that happiness and joy are two different things. Happiness is right here, right now. Masaya ka ba ngayon? But joy, we can choose to be joyful. We can choose to have joy in our hearts. And that's actually a decision, not an emotion. The emotion is happiness, or the state of life is happiness, but that joy, that's an internal disposition that we choose, that despite of being in the pandemic, despite having relationship difficulties, despite having financial crisis in their family, there is joy. So that's a choice. So yung lumaki ka na, tama yan, thank you Leah for helping me here. Lumaki ka na parang bawal maging malungkot, dapat masaya ka lang. Yes, that's a myth because that's not how real life goes. So any more inputs would like to share? Yung isa kong isasabihin sa inyo, what I realize is that another thing. So please put that, hi Rie. So I hope that you can, yan, tama ka dyan, Mads. That thing that dapat masaya lang lagi, huwag ka nang malungkot. And I think another one, sabay na natin dyan, kung bawal maging masaya, hindi ka dapat nagagalit. Bawal ma-stress. Yan, di ba? I think you've heard that. Ayoko ma-stress. Bawal magalit. Look at it that way, friends. Totoo naman na pwedeng magalit eh. And alam mo nyo, ang perfect example ko na pwedeng magalit. Jesus Christ actually got angry. Ito yung in the Bible, pinaalis niya yung mga nagtitinda sa harap ng temple. And if you come to think of it, sorry, na-conscious ako sa buho ko. If you come to think of it, that yes, nagalit siya. But actually, there is such thing as healthy anger. If you would hurt people, if you would actually lash out at people, and if you would hurt, degrade, and do bad things, do unhealthy things because of your anger, and then that's really not okay. But if you would be angry for you to have certain movements that will correct sin, that will be the more truthful roots, and then I know you would agree with me that it's okay to get angry. So, di ba, kaya importante we know and we recognize that. Friends, that's why I thought of this topic. Kasi many of us, this mindset, these patterns, can you say with me patterns? these patterns of living are already in our unconscious. Pag sinabing in our unconscious or in our subconscious, many of them hindi hindi natin alam, hindi natin inaamin, or we're really not aware of it. And the thing is, we're not aware of it. And what happens is that we we are not addressing the problem that this mindset are causing. Are you getting what I mean? Hindi niya na-address yung problema kasi nagiging toxic eh. Ayan, Rose, thank you. This is number 2. Kung number 1 ay from Leia from Singapore. Thank you, friends. Thank you also for the stars, Leia. Uh, dapat malungkot. Yung kay Rose naman, grateful for your coffee break. Bawal pag-usapan ng problema, Rose from Sacramento, California. Thank you, my dear. I would like you to think about this. Bawal pag-usapan ng problema. That's why many families go into toxic relationships. Kaya meron pa minsan, 'di ba? Huwag niyo na lang sabihin kay nanay sasama loob. Itago na lang natin sa mga kapatid mo kasi nakakahiya. But there are problems that needs to be confronted. In family systems, there are theories who said that family secrets can actually bring toxicity, can actually cause a lot of issues, and can actually make the more family secrets there is, the more dysfunctional they will become. Why? There's no transparency, there's no accountability, and there's no open communication. So pag sinabi natin, wag natin pag-usapan yung problema, mahirap. Oo, masasaktan lang sila. Sometimes we need to let people encounter pain. We cannot buffer the people that we love from pain. We just need to help them deal with the pain. Are you getting what I mean? You cannot shield people from pain. We can just allow them, support them, deal with the pain. But there are occasions that family problems needs to be addressed. Are you getting me? Kailangan harapin. I think next year we can start with actually resolving family issues. And this is a very good topic that we can start exploring. Bawal pag-usapan ng problema. Friends, hindi bawal pag-usapan ng problema. It's a toxic culture. Bawal pag-usapan ng problema sa social media. Yun, yung parang you're lashing out at your family. If you have not discussed the problem with your family face to face, if you are deviating the issue and getting the sympathy of other people, but you did not actually seek one-on-one conversation with your family members or with the people that you love, and you're lashing out or bringing out the problem in social media to get the sympathy, to get the comments, to paawa effect from other people, then that's toxic. That's toxic. Ang sinasabi ko dito, pwede yung pag-usapan ng problema pero within the bounds of the family. Sabi nga, di ba, don't wash your dirty laundry on public. Huwag kang maglaba sa publiko. Kasi there are things that are very contextual to our families and our relationship. Kaya di ba, pag nag-broadcast yung mga tao na, okay, I'm done with this marriage, I'm done with this relationship, we're no longer a family, we're no longer a couple, okay, we can say na, ay, ano ba yan? Ba't ganyan yung nangyari? We have different contexts, we have different personalities, we have different characters, we have different value systems. And what we think might be normal, might not be normal for them. So we have to think about things. So that's the second one. Thank you, Rose. Oh, myth. Aba, may dagdag ka, friend. Personality weakness or character flaws pag may mental health problem. Actually, kasama yan eh. Kasama yan dito sa akin. Ay, totoo yan. Pag may ang akala ng marami, I would like to start busting that bawal ang in the traditional families, mental health issues are actually shunned away, yung parang tinatago, ayaw i-deal with, and then sinasabi na parang yung mental health issue that, paano nga ba to? Okay, let me just ask you first. What do you think is the mindset of your family or the culture that you grew up with about mental health problems? Diba? Nakakahiya. Ano ba yan? Sinto-sinto. Ay, naku, may tama yan. Diba? I think we've heard those. Sinto-sinto, may kakaiba diyan, may hindi pa nga natin ginagamit yung mental health problem, eh, 'di ba? um, we have different terms for it that are very culturally biased. But in reality now, kaya pag nasabi, ay may depressed yan. We thought that people with all these issues, with mental health issues, are actually um, the one really causing problem. And as you're saying, Rose, mental health problems have nothing to do with being lazy or weak, and many people need help to get better. And I would really tell you that in many studies of mental health issues, actually, it stems from a lot of our upbringing, our coping mechanism, and a lot about our family. So, di ba, kahit nasabihin natin, ayaw pag-usapan sa pamilya, ayaw, kaya alam niyo tong bawal pag-usapan ng problema at saka yung sinasabi mo, Leia, na 'pag bawal malungkot dapat masaya lang. Tapos sabi mo, Rose, bawal pag-usapan ng problema. They can actually be precursors of mental health issues because people grow up not actually learning how to manage emotions. People grow up not learning how to confront, how to care front, and how to talk about issues with their family. So they grow up, if they run into concerns, they grow up not having support. Ayan, tama. Wali may saltik. Yan, tama. That's another term for that. And that's so sad because are many of the mental health issues can actually be supported. Hindi siya, pwede siyang may mental health issue, may mental health concern. But if we have supportive family members, if there are support in the family, it need not be a prolonged concern, or we can help it not to be a disease or a disorder, because pag sinabi mong disorder, ito yung grabe na talaga. These are the ones that have needs medication and everything. So sorry, mental health issues can actually be avoided. So now what we need to learn is that they can be caused by many other things, including family, and that the reality is that many people are going through a lot of mental health issues. So hindi na natin pwedeng lagyan ng stigma, because here, I'm doing coffee break as a way to support mental health of people. I'm doing coffee break as a mental health support for families, for relationships. That's the main reason I'm doing it. And if we do not normalize speaking about this matter, speaking about problems, speaking about um, toxic things in the family, speaking about mental health, and then how will we get support? So now that we are living in a very good age where we get a lot of mental health support from social media. And well, the sad thing is minsan ito rin ang nagkakos ng problema. But come to think of it, mental health problems, tama ka Rose, have nothing to do with being lazy or weak, and many people need to get better. So that's the second one. So let's go over the first myth. Yung lumaki na bawal maging malungkot, dapat masaya lang lagi. That's the first myth on our well-being. Thank you, Leia, for that. And then second, bawal pag-usapan ng problem. Thank you, sponsored by Rose of Sacramento. And then also third, Rose again. Ang mataas ang taas ng grade ng sa recitation. Teacher yan si Rose. Personality weakness or character flaws cause mental health problems. That's really a myth. There's varied reason that can cause mental health issue. And the third one, meron pa kayong dadagdag bago ako ang magdagdag? I think one of the things that can act, ito, I really grew up like this. Magagalit yata nanay ko sa akin. But yung gawin mo na muna lahat bago ka magpahinga. Or wag ka muna magpapahinga hanggat hindi tapos na lahat ng trabaho mo. Or tapusin mo lahat para pag nagbakasyon ka, bakasyon na. You can enjoy your vacation. Well, there's truth to it. There's truth to i-enjoy mo yung bakasyon. Kasi maganda nga naman, training-wise, as we grow older, that's really nice. Like, because I believe that our parents trained us to be very diligent and conscientious about schooling, that we do not dilly-dally, or we do not, just petik around the house, but actually making us very persistent in finishing school. But come now that we're adults, and then if that's still the same mindset na gawin mo muna lahat bago ka magpahinga, that there's so much going on. There's too many things that we need to do. If we still carry that mindset na gawin mo muna lahat, makalawit na yung dila natin. Ang sabi nga nung iba, parang baksak na yung katawang lupa nila, hindi pa rin sila tumitigil kasi bawal magpahinga. 'Di ba? I think who among you have grew up in that mindset na parang kasalanan magpahinga. So that's another myth. But I would like to bust this, gawin muna lahat bago magpahinga. Because honestly, now in the middle of this work from home thing, that everything is happening all at the same time, we need to learn how to put bits and pieces, minute little segments of our day is put on well-being hacks. Maybe like this, like coffee break during midday. May gagawin pa tayo. Ako, I still have one more corporate talk later, but still I'm doing it. So isisingit natin siya. So maybe that pahinga does not mean that just lying down. But ayan, tama. The reason, Mads, probably why the reason I feel guilty for resting. Yes, if you grew up in this kind of mindset, it's something that I catched early on into with my life. Na hindi pala siya helpful, especially for moms like me. Who among you are mothers like me na working, and dami, tapos of course we are still on top of the home management. Parang we're caring for other people. There's too much going on. But then, if we will just delay na, ay, huwag ka muna magpahinga, sa Pasko ka na magpahinga. Totoo ba, friends? Napapahinga ba tayo talaga pag holiday season? Eh, di ba, who's on top of still the menu for the Noche Buena? Who's on top of preparing the gifts, sending out the gifts, ensuring that the things that you're sending people will be received? Sino bang in charge doon? Di ba tayo rin? So, if you say that mamaya na magpahinga. Let's revisit that. Let's revisit. Is it working? Is it still working in your lifestyle now? Maybe when we're younger, it is. Mag-aral ka muna bago maglaro. Yes, check when we were little. But right here, right now, that we have varied needs, we need to revisit that. We cannot delay rest because if we know how to put bits of rest, we will be more productive. Kaya minsan, di ba, wala na tayong maibuga, gusto natin matapos na para hindi na babalikan bukas, pero we're so drained. And then there's no point in wasting our time just sitting maybe in front of the laptop or doing whatever you like, but not actually being productive. So productivity, it's not actually about the number of hours. Productivity, it's about knowing when to rest. So knowing when to rest now so you can recharge for better, efficient work later. So does that make sense? Ito, another thing. Hi, Belle. Belle said, growing up, pag may bisita, bawal magingay, stay sa room. So now adult na ako, somehow may fear ako sa boss or sa authority. Yeah, I think this is something also, not fear of the authority. Pag may bisita, bawal magingay. Also, it comes with the fact that maybe we are not encouraged to express ourselves as young people. Na pag may taong matanda, wag makikisali yung mga bata. Maybe that makes sense in terms of adult engagement. But kasi isang mindset yan eh. Pag may bisita, wag mag-ingay. Pag may natatanda, huwag kang makikisali. But kids now, we are encouraging them to learn to express themselves, to talk to people, either adults, all kinds of people. So we need to learn. So that's why it's effective, because we learn to deal with varied people. And yan, tinan mo, may fear ako ng boss or authority. And that could be a problem later on. So that's another thing. I think I'm in the 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, ito. Sabi mo, the reason why you feel guilty for resting. So another thing that I think is a myth, rest will bring you to laziness, or rest is only for the mayaman. I don't know. I just need to say it. Parang bawal magpahinga. Meron ganon. And I think also, growing up, parang ang hindi rin ako pwedeng makita basta-basta nagpapahinga or just doing things that I like to do because I need to help out in the house, or there's so much chores to be done, both in our business in the house. So I would really say that the rest is actually reserved. So I would like to invite you, Mads, that to revisit that we don't feel guilty for rest. We need to revisit how we look at rest. Rest is actually really to restore us. And if we are restored, it's actually part of our well-being. Well-being is actually about, and actually the biggest self-care, it's actually giving ourselves rest and sleep. So hindi ito pagpepetik-petik lang, hindi ito yung pagpapakyut lang. Friends, mahirap tong topic na to because we didn't realize that these things are actually ingrained in our unconscious. That's why I'm unpacking this for you, because you just might catch yourself na, oh my God, bakit ba ako nagigilting magpahinga? Bakit ba ako nagigilty na ah, tulungan yung sarili ko? Eh, tinutulungan ko naman yung iba. So you have to learn how to catch yourself. So rest is being lazy. No, rest is necessary. I would like you to know that rest is necessary. Another myth that I would like to reflect about. If mahirap, kayanin mo. Do everything under your powers. Kaya mo yan. Naniniwala ako dito. I know that we are all given capacity to be good. But there are certain occasions in our life as adults, if mahirap at hindi mo kaya, tumigil ka muna. I have to be blunt like that. Pag hindi mo kaya, kung mahirap, bakit mo muna ipagpipilitan? Magpahinga ka muna. So when you cannot push, you have to learn how to pause so you can pivot. Hindi pwedeng push, push, push lang. I believe in this. If mahirap, kayanin mo. Do everything under your power. Kaya mo yan. 'Di ba? So, given this thing, if mahirap, oo, kakayanin mo. Pero, sometimes we need to ask help. That's the missing thing here. It's a myth if kakayanin mo lang mag-isa. But honestly, there are occasions that we need to rest. There are occasions that we need to retreat. Ay, hindi ko na to kaya. Maybe this is not for me right now. And we have to have that inner wisdom, the inner wisdom and the discernment as adults to do that, to learn to say no, to stop because it's no longer serving its purpose in our lives, and to say that mahirap, oo, kakayanin ko nga kahit anong posyakan ng pamilya ko, na ibang tao, na kaya mo yan, you're made for that. Yes, I am strong, but I'm no superwoman. Ayan pa yung isang myth. If mahirap, kayanin mo, do everything. You are a superwoman. You have superpowers. I hate being called a superwoman. I hate having superpowers because the superpowers that I believe that I have is that capacity to put boundaries and the ability to rest. Let's think about that. One of the superpowers that we can harness, that our world is not uh, what do you call it, cheering on, it's actually resting. So, di ba, mas maraming nagagawa actually when we're resting. Because our head, our heart, and our whole being and our bodies are actually cooperating when we know how to rest. So, if mahirap, kayanin mo, yes. But the truth is, if mahirap, either you rest or you retreat or you say, not right now, not yet. Diba? So, another thing, ah, yung quote and quote na sinasabi, laban lang. You've heard that many times. O yan, parang konektado dun sa mahirap kayanin mo, laban lang. I don't like saying laban lang. I think I will share this many times here in Coffee Break. I don't like saying laban lang. Kasi sino bang kalaban natin? Sino bang kalaban natin? O sabihin, fight, fight, fight. But sometimes we don't need to fight. What you just need to do is to retreat for a while. That's what I've been pointing at. So, bakit natin lalabanan? Adi, ang gawin natin, umupo muna tayo, tingnan natin. Let's recalibrate our steps. It's just not about going into the battle all the time. My superpower is to put boundaries and to say no. Yes, di ba? Hindi lahat oo-ohan kasi kung hindi, mauubos tayo dyan. Friend, alam mo yan. So here, huwag tayong susuko. Yes, laban lang. Choose your battles wisely. We don't need to fight all battles. And sometimes we don't need to look at life as a battle. Life is beautiful. Life is a journey. Life is a journey. It's not a battle. We're not battling with anyone. We're just battling with the evil. and the politicians who are crooked, but we're actually battling what we're battling. It's actually that inner feeling, that inner thing that we need to achieve, and we need to do something, that we need to comply with what the world say is good. I think yung mas kalaban natin yun, di ba? Mas mahirap kalaban yun, yung compliance sa mundo, na ayaw natin may masabi sila. Kaya wala tayong kalaban, friends. Wala tayong kalaban. Lalo na yung sarili natin, we cooperate with grace. And, nabanggit na natin yung mental health. And lastly, ito, ang self-care ay selfish. I think you've heard this many times. Self-care daw is selfish. Do you agree with that? It's really a myth. And sabi pa nga nila, pangmayaman lang naman yung self-care. Kung mahirap ka, naiisip mo ba yan? Actually, some people don't just think about that. But you can actually do self-care in our varied means. No matter what, kung the image that you're thinking of self-care is your feet raised in a big garden or in front of the beach with a drink in your hand. At yun yung ginagawa mo every day of your life without you working. Well, is that self-care? No, that's indulgence. Kasi sa totoo lang may trabaho naman tayo lahat eh. Well, last Tuesday I did just that. I raised my feet, look at the beach, and I did not do anything. I planned to read a book. I did not do anything. I just tunganga. That self-care? No, that is actually indulgence. That's actually a break. Because what I look at now as self-care is no longer the travel. It's no longer the big things. I look at self-care as the small little things, like even putting makeup on myself today. That's self-care. Aside from all the things that I need to do, I can break and breathe, and I took care of my plants. That's self-care. Even though my body is too tired from the long drive that we had from the airport and from the trip that we have, I still have to do yoga even though it's tired. That's self-care. It's not, yeah, self-care is equivalent to luxury. That's myth. That is myth. Self-care is actually essential because it has helped many and even myself in being able to navigate my well-being and my mental health in this pandemic situation. So friends, alam natin na marami ang nakasiksik sa isip natin. Malamang hindi natin alam lahat yan. So I would like to invite you to actually probe deeper. You might have more of these myths about well-being. And I would like to recap what I said. The first one is from Leia. Bawal maging malungkot, dapat masaya ka lang lagi. Yan yung toxic positivity. The second one is bawal pag-usapan ng problema. Toxic family yan. And then the third, personality weakness or character flaws because of mental health problems. Yes, mental health is actually existent to all. Mental health illness may not be mental health disease if we know how to address it properly and we know how to support ourselves. And then the next one, it's gawin mo muna lahat bago ka magpahinga, as I said that. And then, if mahirap kayanin mo, do everything. Huwag kang susuko, laban lang. That is a myth, friends. Tandaan natin, wala tayong kalaban. Pwede tayong sabi ng iba, pwedeng sumuka, pero huwag kang susuko. Pwede yon. Pwede naman sumuko. Pwedeng umupo, pwedeng sumuko, pero after a while, pick up your mat and go. I like saying that. And rest is not a luxury. Rest is made to restore us and for us to be more productive. And lastly, self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. Self-care is equivalent to self-care, it can actually be luxury, but it depends on how we look at it, right? So self-care, it's actually essential for us to support our mental health and our well-being. Meron pa ba kayong dadagdag? Sa mga nakikinig dito, meron pa ba kayo idadagdag? May nag-message sa akin na bawal mo ipaglaban ng sarili mo. Tama, dadagdag ko yan. Oo, wag mo ipaglaban ng sarili mo. Wag ka nang mag-assert. Kasi kung hindi, masasaktan ka lang. Pero may pagkakataon, alam nyo, we just need to learn how to gauge things. We have to assert ourselves because if people feel we're not asserting, we're not putting the proper boundaries, as I said earlier. Your superpower is to put boundaries and to say no, because if people see that you are you are allowing them to do that something to you, to talk badly to you, maybe they will continue because they think it's okay. But sometimes you don't need to fight them off. You just need to tell them, I am not, this is not good. What you're doing, that's not appropriate. And I'm not that accepting what you're doing. That's really asserting, but you're not battling with anyone. So friends, alam ko marami pa tayong pwedeng ilagay dito. Just keep putting here kung you're watching this on replay. But I hope these things will help you reflect about what self-care strategy, no, what well-being mindsets and what is your attitude and well-being that helped you through this past year. Ano yung kailangan mong iwanan sa 2020 at ano yung kailangan mong dalhin. Because I'm just so excited to start the new year with you guys. So I hope that you can join me next week for another topic on coffee break. Let's look for things that we can look forward to 2022. I think I will be having my last coffee break for 2021 next week. So I hope that we see each other again. I hope that you are well and healthy. This Christmas season, we hope that we'll be happy, healthy, and holy. Pilitin natin maging holy. Hindi holy night, but we'll be holy because we're connected with our Lord. And I hope that you are blessed and you are well this Thursday afternoon. God bless you all. I hope that you can support our coffee break. You can send stars by sending that digital gifts there in your comment section here in Facebook. Or if you're interested to support me and the mission that I do here at Coffee Break and Beyond, you can just send me an email and I can just give you the Gcash number that you can send your love gift for Coffee Break with Dr. Michelle. So I hope that you can share this conversation to your family and friends via YouTube, Facebook, or Spotify. So this is Dr. Michelle Alignay. Be well, be happy, and be whole. Magandang araw. This is Coffee Break.